What's happening, guys? Back again with another video, and this time we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different than what we typically review on this channel, although not too much, so it still is relevant to obviously the firearms world and a very, very important accessory for anybody to have. Not necessarily like something specifically like this, but just something that fulfills the purpose of this in two different ways that we're going to talk about here. So these are the Sig Sauer 3000 BDX Rangefinder Binoculars, and they are extremely nice. Before I go any further, I'm going to tell you that up until this point, I've only had experience with standard prismatic binoculars. So I've never had a combo that's both a rangefinder and a set of binoculars. However, I was in the market for a new spotting scope, and I just figured that with some of the issues I've had with some of the spotting scopes that I've had in the past, and they weren't bad at all, by any means. It was just a matter of, I guess, not completely fulfilling what I thought they were going to be able to do, and maybe to expand upon what you normally get with a spotting scope. So I figured if I have to invest a few $100s more, but get something more for my money that I feel is going to be a benefit, I would go ahead and look into it. In comes the BDX Rangefinder Binoculars here by Sig. So first off, I did a lot of homework beforehand. Wanted to make sure that, in terms of user reviews and, just kind of quality and everything else, that these were going to be worth the money because they are very expensive. These retail for right around $1,200. They've got two different color variants. So they've got the black, standard black. They've got the OD green, which is what you see over here. The black ones are probably about $150 to $200 cheaper, depending on where you find them at. But these do go for about $1,200 in the OD green. Out of the box, the setup and just kind of the unboxing experience is awesome. You get a nice little carry bag, and you also get a sling for this thing. And that way you can have it as a chest rig or on a chest rig. You could have it basically, the way it sits on you is essentially like it will sit forward like this, and this little top of the pouch is easily accessible so that if you've got your binoculars tucked away in here, they're not going to go anywhere. However, if you need quick access to them, and they're basically going to be on you like this, so this is going to be facing your chest right here, you'd be able to just pull it down real quick, pull out the binoculars, put them right back in, and just flip over the cover just to make sure that they're not going to be going anywhere. So pretty cool. Nothing crazy, obviously. It's just a nice little carry bag for them. But anyways, you do get your manuals and your instructions on how to go ahead and make sure that you're using these correctly, and you've got nice adjustments here for eye relief, and they just kind of click into place. So you've got 3 different adjustments. As you're going counter clockwise, they open up. So I usually tend to put them on the longest eye relief just because that's how my eyes are set up, and that's just what's been working best for me. You've got your focus adjustment right here. Nice rubber coated. Everything on here is rubber coated. They're heavy. I mean, they probably weigh a good 5 pounds or so, but they're not overly heavy. You would expect, like when you pick them up, you're not going to be surprised because it's just, kind of what you would expect for the size and for the quality that they put into these things. The glass is extremely, extremely clear. I'm going to show you guys a couple just clips that I tried to take as best as I possibly could with putting my camera lens down here. So hopefully you'll get some sort of a, just an example of how the glass is. It's not going to do it any justice per se, but at least, with the lack of any type of connected camera that I could hook up to these things, it's just going to give you a good enough idea. The range finding ability is pretty damn sick on these. So these are supposed to be good up until about 4,000 yards. Now in reality, I don't think you're going to get that far. There's just way too much in terms of just kind of the natural conditions, weather conditions, objects in the way. And it's just not very realistic. Although I have seen people that have gotten above 3,000 yards with these, which is pretty respectable. They are very precise. It is measuring distance at a rate of 4 times per second. So very, very fast in terms of its laser finding capabilities. And you get the nice readout here on the right lens. And I've got a clip of that too that we're going to cut in here to show you. But the nice thing about these, and this is like ultimately, the thing that kind of sold me on getting a pair of these rather than just a spotting scope. So, if you're out at the range and you're trying to sight in any type of, rifle, it's sometimes kind of annoying having to go by what distance you're supposed to be looking at with the targets. And you guys know as well as I do, if you've been out to some of these outdoor ranges, you don't know where the hell that target really is. I mean, it could be 10 yards more than or less than what you're supposed to be sighting it into. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sighting in a long range optic for a long range rifle, that 10 yards makes a big difference when you start going out to further ranges. So it was just kind of annoying having to guess that, the amount that they're telling you're shooting at when you're trying to sight in at 100 yards, for example, is honestly 100 yards. It's also hard to then adjust to a longer range and to know exactly where you're supposed to aim based on where, obviously you sighted in from at 100 yards. It's just kind of, it gets to be where it's not precise enough. Okay. And with the laser rangefinder, it makes it a lot easier not to guess. And then, it just kind of puts the unknown out of the issue. Okay. You no longer have to guess. You now know for sure exactly where you're supposed to adjust for. And now you go ahead and you take your shot. But one other thing that these do, which is this is like what I was hoping for this day and age in the 21st century. I was hoping that we were finally going to be seeing technology like this embedded into the firearms industry. So here's what you get. These can connect to your phone via Bluetooth, and you get the BDX app on your phone that Sig provides on both platforms, Android and iOS. It can then take the readings that you're getting on your range and putting it to your phone. And once you do get your range to your phone, now you got a couple things that you can do with this. If you go out and you buy a BDX scope from Sig to put on a rifle, so you buy one of the BDX rifle scopes that they have to offer, this is where it gets really interesting. All right, so now you're connected via Bluetooth from this thing to your phone and from the scope to your phone. This thing is taking your range and it's putting it into your phone. You're also providing information about what rifle you're shooting, what length barrel it has, what caliber it is, what type of bullets you're using. It's also taking into effect your location, your geolocation, and what weather conditions are like, so that it can automatically adjust for your range, because you've got your range already calibrated via this thing. You've got all the information that you incorporated into the app about what type of ammunition you're using and at what range. And now the scope itself has a reticle based on your readings and based on your elevation, your windage conditions, and the target and where that specifically is located. Let's say it's 600 yards out. It will automatically illuminate a dot in the reticle that is going to be where you actually need to aim, right? And it would actually show you as well how far to the left or right you need to adjust for based on your windage. And it takes all the thought out of it. It takes all the guessing out of it. It takes any adjustment out of it. It's literally just point the dot where it's showing you to point and shoot. Right now, I'm not in the market for, nor do I have a long range rifle. I've got cousins that do, and when we usually go out to the range, I usually spot for them. So this is going to help me with that. But this is kind of like that future proofing of getting something that's going to help me down the road if and when I end up buying a long range rifle. And I know damn sure which optic I'm going to buy for it, because again, that's the whole thing. It's kind of like the availability of a lineup of products from one manufacturer. They're all supposed to sync up together and work hand in hand with each other to give you the best possible ballistics from any type of long range rifle that you've got. That's pretty damn cool. Again, I think like the main thing is, if you're in the market for any type of spotting scope, hey, if you're a golfer and you're out to you're looking forward to this fucking snow and this Arctic blast to end, and then spring finally begins, and you're going to be heading out to the golfing or to the shooting range or to the driving range. I got a lot of guns on my mind, but anyways, to the driving range, and you want to get a pair of laser rangefinders. Again, this is kind of something that serves multiple purposes. So again, it's a lot of money. If you go out and you buy a decent spotting scope, a decent one, right, you're going to be spending in between $400 to $600 anyways. Okay, so you double that, yes, with these for sure. However, you're getting a lot more for the money than just a standard spotting scope. It can fulfill multiple purposes. And like I said, if you're in the market for an optic on a long range rifle, this is something that you really need to consider. You really need to consider one of these. They are just like too damn advanced to not consider when it comes to looking for a new scope and not being sure which brand you want to go with, or what features you need, or what distance you need it to be able to be accurate to, or whatever the case is, and whatever questions you've got in your mind. This is the battery housing, by the way. But anyways, really, really cool binoculars, guys. And like I said, the quality so far, just kind of the nice texture that they've got like a rubber texture all the way around, but these feel like they can take a beating and not break on you. And that's another thing that you're going to enjoy when you first pick these up. They feel like they're worth that $1,200. That doesn't say much, but again, with all the features that you get, and if you compare these to other binoculars that are laser range finding binoculars that are in the same class that don't do as much and cost more, it's actually a value, a real big bang for the buck. All right, when you talk about these Sig Sauers. So something to consider. And again, I wanted to start getting into more of some of these one-off accessories that you might actually need when you go to the range, or when you are in the gun world and you're looking for shooting gear and things that you need besides your weapon and your ammunition when you go. This is definitely one of those purchases. It's not a necessity, but it definitely is one of those things that as you get more and more involved in and going out and shooting and stuff, you're going to find that you're going to need some sort of optic for spotting and for being able to find distance and find range. So great option here, guys. If you have any questions, by all means, put them in the comment section, and I am pretty quick nowadays to answer those questions for you. So keep them coming, and I will see you guys on the next video. Hopefully another gun is in our midst. Take care, guys.